Hello, Doc Favors here with another exciting episode for you all. For those, if this is your first time joining us, I'm Doc Favors, and I believe that if we strengthen your mind, that you can create the life of freedom that you're looking for. So I'm excited to be here. And hey, do me a favor and hit that like button, the subscribe button, so we can get this out to as many people. And of course, share this broadcast to those who you believe and who you know can utilize this valuable information. Now, guys, let me tell you something. I gave you my testimony of already being a part of the Procter Gallagher company, you all. And I mean, the track record that we've experienced, you all, is just amazing and phenomenal. And I don't mean that by any stretch of the imagination, y'all. The material, the information, the camaraderie, it works. I have a great relationship with my coach. So I want to give a shout out to Chris, doing a phenomenal job, man, walking us through, just sharing with us the content and everything like that. So let me just say this message that I'm getting ready to share with you is one of the most important messages you're ever going to be able to experience. So I want you all to take some good notes. I want you all to watch this video over and over and over until it sinks in, guys, because here's the thing. As soon as you make a committed decision, your old paradigm is going to fight. And I'm here to help you win that fight. I'm here to give you the ammunition for your weapon. So let me do this. Of course, we're going to share the screen. I have my notes as always, you all. I like to give it to you straight. But let's get right into this, okay? So here it is. Let me go and share my screen here. All right, here we are. And of course, guys, don't be afraid to leave some comments down below. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. Bob and Sandy teaches us about this concept called the terror barrier. And of course, I've added some things. I favorized it a little bit, and I hope that don't offend or get me in trouble. But this is just the way I see it. This is how it comes to me. And so this is the overview of what the terror barrier looks like. You have a place in your life where you have bondage. Then you have the reason phase. Then you get to the conflict phase. And then you see a terror barrier in front of you. And of course, on the other side of that, you have what I call the freedom door. All right, because we're trying to create a life of freedom. And so I'm going to break these things down. I'm going to take my time, but I believe I can do it within that time frame because, you know, I like to keep my videos around 10 minutes. And let me just say this now. If there's anything that you don't understand in fully, because I'm going to try to go surface level, beginner to intermediate, but we go real deep in the program that we offer you all called Thinking Into Results, which of course I'll say more about that later. So let's get right into it and get to this content. All right. So now, bondage. Before we get into bondage, you all, and get into the understanding of everything that I just showed you with the terror barrier, I have to refresh your mind on the stick person, because this is a way to set your thoughts and your mental in order. All right. We understand that order is heaven's first law. And I want to revisit this just for a moment. So look at this diagram. This is a picture of your mind. You have your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and you have your body. Once again, the conscious mind consults or is the thinking and rational mind, and the result of you receiving and deciphering information is through your five senses: see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. Once you go to a higher level, you begin to use your higher faculties, which then supersedes the regular rational thinking. Now, you also have a subconscious mind. It's very important that you understand that the subconscious mind, guys, is that place where you can only receive information, because that's the place that you get your feelings and your emotional mind, that you get involved with what you're wanting to do. Then from the subconscious mind, the ideas are impressed down to the body, which gives you a physical effect. And of course, out on the right, I don't have it here, but you'll know that that affects your results, okay? So let's look at this, you all. The bondage phase, the first phase of the terror barrier, you all, is called the bondage phase. Now, I want you to pay attention to the X's on this screen in the stick person. You have X-type thoughts, okay, that's coming in through your five senses. So now, before you get down to the X-type thoughts being impressed down to the X-type conditioning, which is your subconscious mind, I want you to take a look at what bondage means. Bondage means, to me anyway, means to be trapped in an old paradigm because of your old conditioning. This is what we call the X factor, or that X type, okay? So then when you get X type thoughts, they get pressed down into this X type conditioning, which is your old paradigm. Now, remember, that paradigm is just a system of beliefs. You were born into it. You were shaping into it through your environment, okay? And now when this gets pushed down into your body starts to react to it. So then you have X-type thoughts going into an X-type conditioning, which is giving your body an X-type vibration called feeling, okay? And next thing you know, X is going to equal R, and that's your results. So you got a bondage. Now, once again, the reason why this is bondage is because you know and you can sense that there's something greater out here for you. You know you're supposed to be moving and doing and being and becoming more than where you are, but for some reason, you just can't do it. Many people start projects, can't finish them. They can, cast a goal or set a goal, but they can't achieve them. I'm telling you all, it is because of the X conditioning of the old paradigm. Deep, isn't it, right? So now, from the bondage phase one, then you move into phase two. Now, phase two, you all, is very interesting because this is when you get these Y-type ideas. You watching seminars, you watching YouTube as you're doing now, you're going to some conferences, and you start to get to a place where you begin to wonder, is it possible? And this is where your reason kicks in. Now, look at reason, guys. Reason means to wrestle or consider the logic behind the idea. So when an idea comes in, for example, that, you could possibly be the CEO, or you can achieve that big goal, like go and buy that new boat or buy that new house. The reason then kicks in, and you begin to wrestle with the logic of, well, can I do it? Can I not do it? How many hours is it going to take me to work? How much money do I need? You begin to add up the cost. And that's what's supposed to happen, people. But here it is. It stays in your conscious mind. And that's why this is the second level, because some people in bondage begin to dream, they begin to think, but they don't act. Why don't they act? Because if that why idea stays in your conscious mind, it never gets pushed down. And next thing you know, you go back to the X-type conditioning, which is going to give you the X-type vibration in your body, which is going to ultimately yield what? Those same X-type results. So now you have bondage where people just know I ain't never going to make it. I don't think I can make it. They just don't try. Then you have the people who are on this phase. They dream and they believe they can do it. They looking at it, but they don't put any action to it. Now, people, I want you to understand that is a major problem why many of us are not getting the results that we want to have. Now, let's get to it. Now, here's where the conflict comes in at, guys. I want you to pay attention to the screen. I'm going to take my time once again. Conflict means a serious disagreement or argument between the Y idea and the X idea. In other words, the Y thoughts are the new ideas, the X are the old ideas that come from your old conditioning. It's a cyclical thing, right? I got these results, so I'm gonna send them back, and maybe I could, over process of 15, 20 years, achieve something. Guys, that's the worst way to accumulate wealth and to achieve a goal, okay? Now, these new ideas fight with the old system of beliefs, which is the old paradigm. So let's look at this diagram. Notice that at the top you see conflict. That is what happens. So how does this whole process unfolds? And I know it's a lot of information on the screen. Just go with me. You get a new idea, conference, mentor, coach, a suggestion. You're watching this video, and I tell you, I believe that you can do whatever you set your mind to. Just dream big, do it big, and make an irrevocable, committed decision, and you can do it. Now, that idea comes into your conscious mind. Now, here's what happens. The minute you make that decision and you start to impress that Y idea down, oh boy, you see the happy face, you see the mad face. Something is getting ready to start happening in your subconscious mind. A clash begins, a conflict. And many people say, well, I could, but I don't have enough degrees. I could, but I don't have the money. I could, but I got to wait this. Those are when the excuses start, people. And when the excuses start, that conflict in your body, in your subconscious mind happens. Now, if you do not check this conflict in a reasonable amount of time, which means you have to reject all negative outputs, all negative inputs, rather, all negative information. There's a good book by Wallace Wattles called The Science of Getting Rich that says when you're entering into this phase, into this type of study, you have to block out and get away from it and literally run from any negative thoughts, negative conversations, toxic thoughts, toxic conversations. You got to get away from them. I don't care who it is. You got to get away from that period. Because if you don't get away from them and you don't reject them, here's what's going to happen to you. Your body is going to start to think a certain way, and your mind is going to start to worry and doubt. All right. Now, once again, it all stems from a deeper concept, but I don't have time to go into it. But once again, I'm going to share an opportunity with you where you can go and get these answers. But anyway, the worry and the doubt sets in. Once worry and doubt begins to be received and impressed down, your subconscious mind then begins to entertain something called fear. Now, I want you to understand, fear cannot be, it can be defeated, but you cannot be received. If you receive fear in your subconscious mind without rejecting it, then it throws your body into a vibration, a certain feeling that we call anxiety. And I'm telling you, from there, all hell breaks loose. Excuse my language, but the doc got to say it the way it is. Because from there, you begin to go back, you begin to do certain things, and next thing you know, you're in a spiral. You're down spiraling, and you're gonna have to start the process all over. But watch what happens if you allow that Y-type idea to get inside you and you get emotionally involved. Something amazing is going to happen, okay? But before I get to that amazing thing, watch this. When you operate in bondage, you get the reason and you get to that conflict and you don't get emotionally involved and you don't believe that you can do it, as the first red arrow on top begins to go, you hit that terror barrier and you bounce right off of it and go right back into bondage, people. But I want you to notice that where you were at least on an incline trying to work these things out. But when you bounce off the terror barrier, you not only go back to the place where you were, you begin to go downward. Can you all see that? That is a very dangerous place to be, my dear friends. But I got an answer for you. Watch this. Let me share this with you. Napoleon Hill wrote one day and said, thoughts are things, and powerful things at that, when they are mixed with definiteness of purpose, persistence, and a burning desire for their translation into riches or other material objects. He also said there's nothing belief plus burning desire cannot make real. I want you all to pay attention to these two slides and really let that sink into your conscious mind, because these are the things that you got to put into the melting pot in order to get through this terror barrier and go through that freedom wall. Now watch this. What happens is you go through the bondage phase, you go through the reason phase, you go through the conflict phase, but something happens. You connect with an elite level mentor like myself and others in the Proctor Gallagher company, and you allow them to keep speaking life into you, to keep giving you an ability to have faith in yourself. Now you get a little understanding and a little more knowledge on what you're doing, right? You understand what you're doing. You believe you can do it. And there's some other things, like I said, but I got to get to it. You believe you can do it. And then you mix that, you sprinkle a little burning desire in there. You put a little persistence and you add purpose to that, guys. What's going to happen is you're going to literally stop looking at the terror barrier, stop looking at the problem, stop looking at what you have to leave behind, and start looking at the freedom you're going to achieve, the freedom you're going to receive. Now, here's what's going to happen. You're going to see that those walls are going to open up, tear down. I like to look at it this way. Do you know when you go to a grocery store and you step right in front of the door, just opens up? Guys, I'm telling you, freedom can be yours if you understand what I'm teaching you today and you understand and apply it like I did when my mentors and I first went through Thinking into Results. This program is jazz, y'all. It's jacked. And I mean, I got to give a shout out to Bob and his whole family, man, and Sandy Gallagher. And like I said, man, it's amazing what the people can do who had time to speak to me. You know, encouraging words from our vice president, DP Gates. Like I said, the guy who, the gentleman who put me in, Chris. Let me tell you something. Yo, I can't say any more about it. But the question is, do you really want to get to a place of freedom and you want to stop hitting that proverbial ceiling and really crash through, break through? I like to say, run, walk, or trot right to your destiny and your freedom. Guys, let me say this. This is what that looks like in plain view. I want you to get a clear diagram and a clear picture of this. This is what happens. Now, if you understand what I'm telling you and you really want to break free, then this is all you have to do, okay? So right now, guys, what I'm going to do, of course, is stop the share, and I'm going to tell you, as a Proctor Gallagher consultant on my way to doing bigger and greater things, I have big goals and I know how to achieve them. I'm here to tell you now. All you got to do is do two things. I'm going to leave a link down below for you to join my private Facebook group, because we're talking about this type of information 3-4 times a week, man. We got questions. We got our first team. We launched our first Thinking into Results group, mastermind group. We got 5 people who joined up, and we already started, but you can still get in. Second thing I'm going to leave you all is a link where you can make a strategy call. I want you to call me, call my team, call us at Essential Leaders Institute. We partner. We pay attention to our coaches and we follow the rules, guys, and we're getting massive results, quantum leap results. And if you're that person who wants to break through this terror barrier, let me tell you all, I've seen people come off of medicine with this information, you all. I've seen people lose over 100 pounds with this information. I've seen people increase their goals and increase their self-image and their self-awareness to the point that you can't almost even recognize them anymore. I myself am losing weight and slimming down because I made that one of my goals while during this program. And I'm gonna tell you, so once again, y'all, I may have went over my time a little bit, but please hear me. This piece right here, if you apply that information right there and connect with us and get the essential coaching that you need and go through this thinking into results, I promise you, if you do it now, you're going to walk into 2024 in such a level of freedom, on such a frequency where eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. They're not going to be able to recognize you. Okay, guys, so at the end of the day, please don't forget, like, subscribe, turn the notification bell on for this channel, you all. Share this video, share it to everyone, man. I'd like to see this video get to 5,000 views so we know that we're reaching that many people, guys, and I need your help to do it. So with that being said, Doc Favors, as always, be positive on purpose and not by accident, and we'll see you next time.